If you have ever been on Instagram, you have probably seen stories on the top of the home page. But what are stories and how are they different from regular posts? And how can you interact with other people's stories? Hi, I am PixelPia, and in this first episode about stories on Instagram, we will take a look at stories from a viewer's perspective. I will later on in this series do tutorials about how you can create your own stories, but I think it's important that we understand what stories are before we start to make our own. And today I will try to explain that by looking at them from a viewer's perspective. So what is Instagram stories? Well, they are a vertical format with text, photos and videos. They can be built in segments and each segment is 15 seconds long. They will disappear after 24 hours, and that is one of the bigger differences between stories and regular posts. There are some exceptions to that, which I will talk about when we create our own stories and show you how you can save them. You can keep adding to your own stories during the day. Add more photos, videos or text that you either take in the moment or upload from your camera roll. And as I said, each segment is 15 seconds. So if your video is longer than 15 seconds, only the first 15 seconds will be used. Another difference is that you can use overlay on top of your text, your photo or your video. And this can be as stickers. You can write text or just scribble on your photos or videos. You can ask your audience questions or add a poll. And of course you can use a plethora of filters and effects. So now let's take a look at my Instagram and take a look at some of the stories and see how I can interact with them. You find the stories on the top here in these little circles. So let's start. On the top of the stories you see these white little lines. Each line represents one 15-second segment. By clicking on the screen one tap, you can jump from one segment to the next. And by swiping to the left, you can jump from one story to the next story. Swiping right takes you back to the previous story. On some stories, you will see the function swipe up. That is used by larger Instagram creators and is a link to another place on the web, which can be a website or maybe a YouTube video. And now if we look at the top of a story, you have these three little dots. If you click on those, this pop-up menu will pop up. And here you have report. And here you can see all the different reasons you can use to report a story. You can copy a link to a story to share somewhere else on the web. For example, on your website. And you can use the share to. And you see how many different places you can share this story to. And then we have mute, if you don't want to see anything from this creator in the future. In this example, we didn't see any stickers, any polls, or any questions to answer. But as you can see, I can also, by swiping up for stories that don't have the swipe up as a link, I can give a quick response in type of a smiley or another symbol. And I can send a message to the creator and they will get those messages in the form of a direct message, a DM. I hope this short little introduction got you to understand what stories are a little bit more and maybe even made you want to start creating your own stories on Instagram.